Throughout the story of A Plague Tale, we see many interesting characters come and go. Some notable ones being Melly, Sophia, and Lucas. Now, before I go any further, expect heavy spoilers for Innocence and some for Requiem as well. Now, Lord Robert, who is Amicia and Hugo's father, is killed off quickly by Lord Nicholas, and it seems we never get to see much about the character. And not much is really brought up about him after his death. Requiem lets us know his favourite wine, but that's about all we find out about him. However, all we need to know is stated at the very beginning of Innocence, and they have a lot more to do with the story than you may originally think. Amicia's primary weapon, the sling, is shown throughout both games. This is the weapon that kills most of the enemies she encounters. One piece of dialogue at the beginning of Innocence tells us that Lord Robert gifted Amicia this sling. This sling is Amicia's only connection to her father after his death that we know of, but I could be wrong. Lord Robert states that he is the one who looks after the lands, meaning he is one of the highest ranked men in Guyenne. Amicia had a way closer connection with her father than her mother Beatrice. Beatrice is always focused on Hugo and never really has time for Amicia. Robert, while still not seeing Amicia as much, still spends a lot more quality time with her, even teaching her how to hunt stuff like boars. And we also get to see them go on rides together, as you can see clearly they did that at the beginning of Innocence, as when you start in you've got the two horses, and it's really clear they'll ride in them, you know? And further into Innocence's prologue, you get to see them do the Knight's Challenge at the Sacred Apple Tree, a game they've been doing since Amicia was young. After Lord Robert's death, Amicia was obviously extremely shocked, as he was the closest family she had, and Lord Robert showed his loyalty to the de Runes, not giving up their location and dying for them, by sticking his chin up in defiance, as his head was removed or his throat slit. It was one of the two. Now, obviously, this would have been very saddening for Amicia, as Lord Robert was the closest family she had at the time. After his death, he states Hugo is in good hands, meaning this could be Beatrice, their mother, or even Amicia he is referring to. If this is Amicia, this does show his trust in Amicia, and as you would know, Amicia was on her way to Beatrice to warn them of the rats, due to their encounter in the woods. Later in Innocence, when they return back to Amicia's home, you also find Robert's body untouched, and Amicia's feelings are clearly that she is highly saddened of this. Now, each character in A Plague Tale each has their own use towards Amicia's cause to protect her little brother Hugo. Lucas helps in alchemy, Melly picks locks. Now, if Robert had survived and joined with Amicia, it won't be too far-fetched to think he would have been similar to Arno from Requiem in how he helped. Due to him being a lord and his understanding of how to fight with a sword, Robert would most likely attack soldiers on sight. This would have drastically changed the early events of the story and maybe even stopped Beatrice from being captured by Lord Nicholas. Despite being a minor character, Lord Robert does play a way bigger role in the Plague Tale games, even though he is barely mentioned past his death. So next time you shoot a rock out of Amicia's sling, remember, this was a childhood gift from her father, Lord Robert de Rune.